Back again for another episode of the Blues Heart Biker. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Blues Heart Biker channel. Today I am at Clawson Motorsports here in Fresno, California, and I am going to test ride a motorcycle that has been recently discontinued. I want to ride it and I want to figure out if I can figure out why they would discontinue this bike. Now, it's an interesting motorcycle. It's an interesting looking motorcycle. It's way different than the things I usually like, but I really like the way it looks and I'm interested to see how it rides. It's a Husqvarna Svartvilen 701, and we're gonna zoom in on it right here, and this is it right here. And it's got a very interesting look to it. As you can see, it's got a single cylinder. Oh, it's 693, I believe, cc's. Makes about 75 horsepower and 50 plus pounds of torque. Yeah, it's a real interesting little piece of machinery here that I'm really looking forward to trying out. If some of you guys don't know, that Husqvarna is owned by KTM. And so basically the engine in this bike is basically a motor out of a Duke. So, you know, but there's a lot different with this bike than a Duke as well. All right, first thing I want to do is I want to properly tell you guys how to pronounce the word Husqvarna, okay? It's not Husqvarna. Now, for some reason, English-speaking people want to make that H hard, and you want to put an I in there. Okay, well, first of all, as you can see up there, there's no U after the Q, and there's no I, so it's not Husqvarna. The proper way to pronounce Husqvarna is Husqvarna. Husqvarna. Say that fast, real fast, about 5 times. Husqvarna, 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 Husqvarna. Husqvarna, 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 Husqvarna.
Husqvarna, Husqvarna.
So anyways, Husqvarna, that's the way you're supposed to say it. We've gotten so used to saying Husqvarna because, I don't know why, but English-speaking people tend to want to call this a Husqvarna, but I'm going to continue to call it Husqvarna because I'm sure that's what most of you are comfortable with. So anyways, let's fire this thing up and let's take a ride with it. I'm going to go around it one more time so you guys can see how cool it is. It's got a uni-shock in the center, as you can see there. Liquid cooled. It's a single cylinder. This is the largest single cylinder motorcycle engine in production right here. It's almost 700 cc's, like I said earlier. It's got single disc Brembo brakes, so this baby will stop. And it's a real light motorcycle that comes in at 360 something pounds, I believe it is. I don't remember exactly what it is, but anyways, let's take it for a ride. right, let's go. Let's see what we got here. All right, turn on the kill switch. Looks like we've got fuel gauge. Looks like we got a little trip meter. Looks like we got our speedometer here. All right, it looks like we got some different modes we can set. I'm just going to leave it where it is. We've got traction control, we got ABS, we got to start this thing so we can get going. Here's our starter, starts right up. Here's our dimmer and brighter. Here's our turn signals, just like on every other motorcycle but a Harley. And I happen to love the turn signals on a Harley. All right. And here we go on the Svartvilen Husqvarna. Remember, Husqvarna, not Husqvarna. No, I said it wrong again.
Husqvarna. Husqvarna.
Husqvarna. All right, you sit up pretty high on this little bike. Let me get my mirror set up right here so I can see what's going on behind me. Whoa, yeah, the torquey little beast. This thing doesn't weigh anything. It's only like 300 and something pounds. And this thing has got 75 horsepower. This thing is exactly what the name implies. Svartvilen. Svartvilen in Swedish means black arrow. And this thing is like an arrow, man. It wants to go. Whoa, man. Man, whoa. Whoa, man. Okay, well, let's get her on the freeway here. I like to go on this route right here because this on-ramp is got quite a little twist to it. And man, it really takes it well. I'd love to ride this thing in the mountains. And once it jumps in, it gets right up to speed. It runs pretty smooth. It's got a little bit of vibration, but this thing's a big giant one-cylinder motor. Now they quit making this bike. 2020 was the last year they're going to make this bike. They're devoting all their attention to the Norden 901. I don't know how this bike sold. I know it was a pretty popular bike, but to me it would seem like they'd want to hang on to this bike because this is an all-level bike right here. It's got good suspension and it just wants to go. I mean, I'm 5th gear. Let's get up here in 6th gear. It's running pretty smooth. Now this bike, because it's got a single cylinder and it's such a big single cylinder, they've got counterweights on this bike. They've got 2 counterweights. I believe one of them's on the crankshaft and one of them's on the camshaft, if I am not mistaken. correct me if I'm wrong, but it does have 2 counterweights on it that keep this thing running smooth. And for a great big 700cc 1-cylinder motor, it runs pretty smooth. It handles just beautifully. The Svartvilen, the black arrow, and it is an arrow. This thing's, I mean, when you just first take off with this thing, I mean, it weighs nothing. I mean, I feel like I'm, you know, I'm used to riding Harleys. This bike feels like it's nothing. And it's got more horsepower than my Sportster does. And it's got quite a lot of torque. Well, it looks like I'm going to go north a ways here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Seems to slow down real well. Brakes are I think this was a bad move on my part. Come on, old timer, move over. It's pretty quiet. They say there's some slip-on exhausts that you can get for this that are pretty nice. And it actually sounds pretty good when you do a little number on the exhaust. But I gotta tell you, this is a nice little bike. Husqvarna, remember that. Not Husqvarna, Husqvarna. This bike, when it first came out, they featured it on Jay Leno's garage, and he was calling it Husqvarna. So English-speaking people want to call it Husqvarna. Now, if you're not familiar with Husqvarna, or Husqvarna, this is like an old company. I mean, they started like making muskets in the 1600s. Is there something to tooling, guns, and motorcycles? Because this is at least the third company I know that was a gun company before they started making motorcycles. Royal Enfield, BSA, and Husqvarna. But the Norden 901, which they're going to be devoting more attention to, and they're not going to build this one anymore. It seems to me, I've never seen one in person, but I've seen pictures, and they seem to me like they're a more of an adventure bike, a little higher and more set for just straight ahead adventure bike. And this bike's kind of a multi-purpose, but I can tell you this thing has got some get up and go. For a small bike, it's just, you know, and I think that's why it's so zippy. It's because it doesn't, I mean, there's nothing to this bike. It doesn't weigh anything. Man, it stops on a dime. But this company started back in the 1600s making guns, and then they started making motorcycles in 1903. The same year Harley Davidson did. And you know, back in the 70s, man, that 400 Cross was a bad motorcycle. And you know, they made mostly dirt bikes for years. And they have another model of this called the Vetpillen, I think is how you say it. It's a little different, but it's basically the same bike, except it's got clip-on bars down here, so it's more of a cafe racer. Yeah, this bike really has get up and go. I mean, it tons of torque. I don't know what more good I could say about it. It's just if any of you guys live in Fresno, you ought to come down and buy this bike. This is the last one that they have, and this is going to be the last one because they discontinued this bike this year. But I like the positioning of it. My feet are comfortable, my legs are comfortable here. I'm an old guy with hip issues.
You done, kids? Get off my property!
Sometimes the foot positioning can be a problem for me. And actually, I actually feel really comfortable on this bike. The seat's a little bit of a 2x4, but that's just a stock seat on a motorcycle. Most motorcycles are like that. I feel really comfortable on this bike. And I feel like I got the power to do whatever I want. You know, in 5th gear, it's got torque. Let's go up to 6th gear and see what happens here. It wants to, yeah, we got a lot of torque in 6th gear. You get up around 6,000 RPMs and it smooths out real nice. And it's not like it's vibrating as a Sportster, but it, you know, it's got a little more vibration than a lot of other bikes because it's a single cylinder. And it's got a lot of character though. It feels good. It's a beautiful bike. Now, I like the way it looks, and I like the way it feels, and I like all of this, you know. I like everything looks nice and neat and tidy up top. You know, it feels real good, but it'll, man, I mean, it wants to do what you want it to do. I just feel like I'm not riding anything. It's just really, really light. And that's comfortable, you know, especially for an old guy. Don't get me wrong, I love my Harley, but this is all nice and clean. Everything's clean here, you know. Not a lot of stuff happening. All right. Yes, oh man, it just stopped on a dime. I mean, you probably can't see through the camera me slowing down, but it really slows down real nice. stupid thing I wish it had, I wish it had 2 green arrows that showed you which side your turn signal is blinking on. It just gives you what? It just gives you that blinker and the one thing. But that's not important. Yeah, you just get right up on traffic there. This is a great hooligan bike, great all-around bike. I give it a thumbs up, a big thumbs up. This bike was a blast to ride. They also make a 401, which they didn't discontinue the 401 for some reason. They discontinued the 701, but not the 401. All right. Well, here we go. Looks good. All right, well, that's it. Kickstand's easy to find. All those are little things that, you know, they're important to me. Lots of torque, lots of horsepower, fast, light, easy to maneuver. I think it's pretty awesome. Well, all right, that's the ride. A few thoughts. Fast. Small, light, fast. I mean, you know, it's not fast like an R6 or an R1 or something like that, but it's a fast little bike. It's a 693 cc single cylinder motor. Runs a little vibrating at lower RPMs, but when you get it up to the higher RPMs, it smooths out pretty nice. Lots of torque, and it handles like a dream. Very comfortable to ride, I think. I like the riding position of it. As you can see, the seat's not much, but that's just the way it goes, you know. It looks great. I like I mean, like I said earlier, I like the way this looks, you know, and I'm a guy that likes retro bikes, and I like the way this looks. The Svartvilen. And it's the black arrow, but I like the way it looks. I think it looks great. It stops good. If you're looking for a bike to buzz around town on, this is just fantastic for that. If you're a beginning rider, I wouldn't say a beginning rider like never ridden before. You know, maybe if you went to the class and you're pretty confident on it, it would be a good bike for you. Intermediate rider, yeah, great. First road bike, great bike for that. And you know, it depends. It's not a bike that's just going to get away from you if you ride it. You know, it's just if it's your first bike. But it is a nice bike. What I don't like about it, and I'm going to tell you the things that I don't like. And this is true for most new motorcycles that come out. And this is something that I don't understand about motorcycle manufacturing, but they've taken all the beauty out of the engine. The engines used to be works of art. Old Vincent motors, old Triumph motors, old Harley motors, even the old Hondas, you know, the 754s, stuff like that. The engines, they just had this look to them, you know. This engine's kind of ugly. But, you know, that's not unique to just this bike. That's just every modern bike, and that's going to be a topic for another episode, actually. But the brakes are great, stops good, everything about this bike. I can't think of anything that I didn't have fun with. The suspension is marvelous on it, for what it is, you know. And it's just this. It's like a light little rocket, you know. And it's great bike. So they've only got one of these down here at Clawson Motorsports, so if you're looking for a bike and you want something that's unique and special, this might be a good bike for you. So anyways, that's my take on this thing. I had a wonderful time riding it, I just got to say it. And I got to say, give a shout out to everybody at Clawson Motorsports for letting me ride this thing today. Good time, man. This was a great bike to ride. Well, all right, that's it for today, everybody. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Give me that thumbs up. It lets me know you like what we're doing here. Also, hit that bell. That bell's going to let you know whenever I upload new content. And that is every Tuesday and every Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. All right. Again, if you guys want more information on Clawson Motorsports, I'm going to put their contact info in the description below. So read the description below. Also, let's hear your comments, all right? I'd like to hear what you guys think about this. Let me know how I did on my test ride and review. Also, if you guys need any questions or anything, go ahead and ask them. Beautiful bike. I had a good time riding it. If you're looking for something like this, if this fits your bill, I'd honestly take a look at it. All right, well, that's all for today, friends. Thanks a lot for watching. You're going to see 4 squares in the corners. Those are links to some of my previous videos. Watch those and share them with your friends. All right, hey, well, thanks a lot. I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you again soon. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, be cool, always be cool, don't let nobody get you down, and be safe when you're riding and when you're driving. Okay, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. And don't forget, Husqvarna, not Husqvarna, Husqvarna. Anyways, thanks a lot.